All systems. All systems. All systems go.
After all this time, now you come to visit me, brother. Why? To mock.
I need your help. But I wish I could trust you.
If you did, you'd be the fool I always took you for.
November 8th brings us the return of Chris Hemsworth's Marvel character back to the big screen in Thor: The Dark World. The Dark World serves as a sequel to both the Avengers and the first Thor movie, as it reunites pretty much the entire cast of the latter film, including Tom Hiddleston as Loki,
Yay.
Natalie Portman as Jane, Anthony Hopkins as Odin, and yes, even Idris Elba as Heimdall.
Idris!
I love when you do that.
New to the mix, we've got Christopher Eccleston.
Awesome.
Yep, who is perhaps most well known in the geek community for playing the Ninth Doctor on Doctor Who when the series relaunched in 2005. He'll be playing Malekith, the primary villain. Like the other Marvel movies, this will be rated PG-13. Jill, not are you excited, but how excited are you for this movie?
I like that.
Aw, I'm super excited. This looks great. There's been a bunch of trailers, and it looks like a really solid sequel. It's got a good story, there's more character development, you get to see some different worlds. I think they're keeping it interesting, so I think it's gonna be awesome. Rotten Tomatoes, the sequels just never do quite as good, but the first Thor actually only got 77%, which compared to some of the other Marvel movies wasn't that good. So I'm going to go a little lower than that. I'm going to say 75. And then the box office I thought was really hard because the first Thor made $65 million, but then since then you've had the Avengers come out and just crush everything, and then Iron Man 3 come out again and just crush everything. So how much is this? I'm going big. I'm going 120 million.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right, that is big. Fox, what do you think? Do you agree?
I don't agree on the Rotten Tomatoes score. It's not going to be that much different from the first one, which you said was 77% positive. I'm going the other way, and I'm going to say it goes higher. I think this sophomore effort is going to do a better job at showing the universe of Asgard, and as you said, Jill, all these other universes. And I think Chris Hemsworth is just so likable and so much fun and affable that I think he's going to only embrace the role further. So I'm going 83% positive to critics. 120 million is a lot. I don't know that I can go that high for November, so I'm only going as high as 105 million, but that would be a great return for something like this.
All right, Chris, where do you stand?
So Thor is a little bit of an odd franchise. It tends to be, because Thor is a less well-known character, it's kind of the dumping ground for Marvel exposition. So we had to get to the Thor movie to understand how all these different things were going to be connected in the Avengers later. The second Thor movie, I'm worried they're going to be dumping a lot more, but what's going on sort of cosmically in this universe. So it's hard to predict how it's going to turn out. I am worried that it's not being directed by Kenneth Branagh this go-around. I thought he brought some great elements to that first movie. That said, we have some really strong actors getting to have a really fun time here. I'm especially looking forward to Christopher Eccleston. So I am excited for this, despite some qualms. I think people will like it. I'm going to come in really close to that original 77% for the first movie and say 80% positive, just a slight tad better because I think people are primed a little more for what's coming. And I'm going to come in way under you guys on the box office. I'm saying 85 million. I'm going that low comparatively because I think that there are a whole lot of average Joes out there who are still not that interested in Thor and don't really understand how all of these movies tie in together. They're just excited to see their favorite heroes show up again. And if Thor is not one of those, they're not going to be shelling out to come see it.
I think he's right.
No,
we'll have to see how it plays out.
I think he's crazy because, first of all, Chris, you talk about the director. You have the directors from Game of Thrones overseeing this, and 75 million hits for the Thor trailers on YouTube. 75 million hits, which is way more than most of the other movies we're talking about this month.
Call me a let out. I am not impressed by the number of YouTube hits you get.
All right.
The other thing I will say is that maybe people didn't know so well who Thor was before Thor and the Avengers came out, but all the people who saw Avengers now know and love Thor.
Yeah, who doesn't love Thor? Right? And Loki.
And Loki.
Exactly.
Intrigue. All right, I'm curious to see how this plays out and who's right.
All yours. Anyone else?